Welcome, welcome to Libertarians Drinking Coffee Live. It has been a while. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these. I've been crazy busy trying to get other stuff done, but I cannot forget my Libertarian brothers, and I need to make sure that I'm always bringing one of my brothers and sisters on to give them a little bit of a spotlight. And today, I have my coffee. As always, it is required. It is the afternoon. I know it's a little bit past 4 p.m. Usually it's at 3 p.m., but I had to bring somebody on here who I know is trying to rock and roll in the tough state of New Jersey, running for the General Assembly. The New Jersey's 13th is the man himself, Mr. John Morrison. How are you, sir?
Good. Good to see you again, Larry.
Yes, glad to have you on board. I got to ask a question, though. Jersey's as tough as New York. It's tough. Why are you punishing yourself by running?
Well, it's, we're, I'd say, blue state with pockets of red, right? We know we're a blue state, but I live in a very red district.
Okay.
So it's been quite a while since anybody's voted other than Republican in this district. And it's not a knock on anybody that votes Republican, but
no, I have the opposite. In my district, everybody votes blue.
Yeah. So
for assembly in my district, the Republicans haven't run a candidate in 10 years.
Well, then you have us beat, because there always seems to be a Democrat challenging.
Yes.
No, but I honestly had this kind of dream since I was a kid. I told myself in elementary school I was going to be governor of New Jersey. And now I'm talking to the future governor of New York right now.
Oh, I like that.
The plan actually was a few years ago. I had the interest. My goal was looking at Congress.
Okay.
And so I started going to, candidate interest meetings, and it got floated. You don't have to wait till 2024. Your district is up this was like in February of this year. And they were like, your district's up in November. And I didn't even give the state assembly really a thought. And then when I started, really getting into it, I was like, this is actually something on a more of a obviously state level. And that's exactly what I wanted to do.
And it's local. You can run in your own district. It's not as hard to cross the entire state. Sure.
No. But because my big thing about Congress was, and this is just how the federal government works. I always got bothered that, growing up, I knew who our congressman was. He was the congressman my entire life, but he was never in district. So, and I understand they have things to do in Washington. They're on committees and whatnot, and there's things to do on a federal level. But now, this position, when it got brought up, I realized that living in my district and working for my district is exactly what I wanted to do. I just didn't, that wasn't something, and not saying it's not important. It's just in my thought, I was like, go as big as you can. And then when that got floated out, it was just an opportunity I saw, and things just started to really fall into place. In terms of getting myself on the ballot, and in terms of especially my interest level and my family and friends around, people
So tell me about the race itself. In other words, is this you against 2 people, 3 people, 1-on-1?
Yes.
What's this race? Is there incumbent? What's going on?
Yeah. So what's interesting is that we haven't run a third party at all in this district in 6 years. And that was a Libertarian. But I'll be up against 2 incumbents, 2 Republicans. And
2 incumbents? I don't get it.
2. So 2 seats for the General Assembly per district. So there's 20 districts, 40 seats, or 40 districts. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay. So top 2 win?
Top 2 win. So you get 2 votes, pick any 2, and that.
So you got a shot at coming in number 2, really? Then you could actually slide in there.
That silver medal's not a failure.
I like this.
But what was interesting was my 50 signature requirement. I blew past that. And so I'm looking, I obviously keep hitting refresh to see the 2 Republican incumbents obviously got their nomination very easily.
Sure, of course.
They had the 2 Democrats, but one actually dropped out at the last second. Just says withdrew or, denied. I'm not going to ask questions. But and the people on my team, we were talking that's really interesting, because if you get 2 votes, you have Democrats in your district who might just vote Libertarian because you're not a Republican.
Yes.
And so I didn't even, put 2 and 2
together.
So
Democrats might vote for you and they're Democrat.
But what happened was at the last second, they got enough write-ins to add that last person, which I think I would assume the
Ah,
Republicans were cheering because,
yes, I'm sure they were.
and that's why
Yes.
I was like, oh man, but
Yeah,
yeah, so
because you
it's
easily could have split that vote, right? With two
because
votes. What I love what you're saying is, in theory, if they like one Republican but not the other, your
right,
Republican side, they can vote for the one they like,
right,
and then you. And if both of them do that,
yes.
and then a Democrat does that, you
Which
could have
still,
slid
I
in
mean, which
there.
still can happen, which is what I'm hoping for because there's 5 of us on the ballot.
Right.
So, 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and then here's me, the porcupine.
So if you're everybody's second choice, you actually will win this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, watch, yeah, it's the ranking system in its perfection.
There we
But
go.
yeah, so but I mean, and to add to your point, if you look at the vote totals for the last few elections, both Republicans didn't get the same amount of votes. You would think if you're voting party lines, they would have
Right.
the same exact number. They're close, but you could see some people aren't voting for both of them. Now
Right.
that could be people don't realize you're choosing 2 seats, or it could just be I know this guy, he lives in my neighborhood, and
Right.
I don't want to pick his second choice, or I'm just going to pick somebody else.
Right.
But um,
Right.
yeah, so
That's an amazing piece. So let me, if I can, I'm gonna grab a couple comments real fast just because
yeah,
people are commenting. Joe brings up, he's from Florida. He says, no Congress member from my district has actually lived in my district for many years.
great, yeah, yeah, what, yeah, there you go.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're not alone, John.
yeah,
You're not alone.
no, that's how you would
So
see them. You'd see them election year, and they would go to some event in town and act like they've been there the whole time. But
yes. That,
there's
by the way, that on a different note of a more popular person in my district, my congressperson's AOC. Yes,
oh
I
wow,
accept your condolences. I accept condolences.
that
So
is
yes, but she actually won. One of the reasons was our congressman didn't live here; he lived in Virginia.
yeah. So there you go.
So she actually lived in a district,
Well,
and she actually won.
now she also now like correct me if I'm wrong. The year I think she won for the first time wasn't voter turnout like 17%, or am I exact? Like there was
Because no one ever voted
yeah,
because he always won.
yeah, so,
Crowley just like always. So why bother? He would.
yeah,
Who cares? She actually motivated people. I got to tell you, I'm not an AOC fan. I'm not.
no,
However, but I want to always give credit where credit is due. She busted her rump for that first seat. Her team knocked on my door. Like they were
yeah,
knocking on doors. They were everywhere. She had a work ethic like there's no tomorrow. Now she's just going to sell it like all the rest of them.
of
But
course.
I'm still going to give her the credit at that time. She did
For
bust
yeah,
the rump for that seat.
yeah. I mean, you can't knock her for that. You want a
Yep,
job, you got the job. So
absolutely.
put in the work,
Yes.
you
I'm
should get
sorry.
the reward.
I went totally off topic. Let me
No,
now come back
don't
to
worry.
you if I could, my
I
friend.
brought up her voter turnout. That's how we got off
So
topic.
so now we know why, we kind of see how your race is going.
Yeah,
So let me ask you, what are the issues you think you have to run on? Like, what are your, I'm sure there's 1,000 issues. I mean, there's always a
yeah,
bunch of issues, but can you give me kind of like your top 2, your top 3
yeah.
that you think are going to resonate the most or that
The
you care about most?
that what works on honestly the most personal level for me. I live in Middletown slash Red Bank, which
Okay.
confuses some people because Red Bank and Middletown are actually 2 different districts. But I live in Middletown with a Red Bank zip code, so I'm on that line. But I am the 13th district. I've checked everyone multiple times. I'm in the right district. But the big thing, honestly, that hits closest to home. I'm a public school educator. I've been for over a decade.
Hmm.
So and in Middletown now, we do have this like kind of up parents are up in arms now because we have this policy of basically teachers and parents, let's just say teachers and parents communication needs to get better and more streamlined.
Mm.
So we have, students who may be identifying one way or the other, they're changing their name, and we're having an issue where they're telling their teachers and they're not telling their parents. And
Mm.
now this comes up to, well, what's the teacher's job in terms of, do I let the parent know that just so you know, in my class, they want to be called this name, but when you come for conferences to talk to me, you're calling them a different name. So that's things that we have parents up in arms and
That's a
I'm
big deal.
yeah,
Absolutely, it's a big deal. I mean, and I see why that would make a lot of people and teachers. It's the sad part is it puts you in a very crappy position
oh, it's
as a
awkward.
teacher.
It's but like, I'm a new parent. My daughter's 16 months old. So this hit
Oh, well,
home.
congrats.
Thank you. But like that hit home closer. I've seen these things before. Again, I've been a teacher for 11 years, and like not till now. I'm like, if my daughter is telling her teacher something and I'm not getting that information, like part of me does see both sides because I work in a district that doesn't have the best parental involvement. So we have kids who might not see their parents at all.
Right.
So, but I think all of that, there has to be better communication across the board, and you can't personally can't take that completely, sorry, out of the parents' hands. Also, I
So
think,
let me ask you this. Now, that's important to you. I
yeah.
get it. You see it. Is it a big deal in your area also? Are people also talking about? Does that
Oh,
match? The
this is you mentioned Middletown. I think this is the first thing that comes up because,
There we go.
and the district is in trouble.
Okay.
So there are, there's I don't want to overspeak because I don't know all the details, but there's definitely investigations into this. Parents are not happy that information about their children could be withheld.
I,
But you
I
have,
love the fact that you have an issue that is local and you're doing something about it. Good for
yeah,
you. That's amazing.
yeah. But again, like as a new parent, I do see both sides because it does, at the end of the day, should start at home. If a child's not comfortable going to their parent with these details, that's something that needs to be addressed first.
Right.
I mean, I always feel like the children should always be comfortable to tell their parents everything, but that's not always the case. I mean, there's things, if my mom's watching, there's things I haven't told you. But
Uh-oh,
I think
Ma.
important, I think important information like that. I see where these parents are coming from, but that at all in all, it comes down to we need better communication, and that becomes a partisan issue because you have Democrats and Republicans standing on both sides of that.
Yeah,
And
but from what I hear from what you're saying, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, I don't think you're necessarily taking a side. You're saying I want crystal clear guidelines and rules
yeah,
so
and
that
I want,
as a teacher, this is what I do when this happens. This
yeah,
is what is legally correct when that's what you're asking for. Am I
yes,
right?
as a parent and a teacher, I
Yep.
see like that's a ton of responsibility to drop on a teacher if they're getting really sensitive information. Like if that were to this, I mean, it's not something that's directly happened to me, but I wouldn't know what to do. Like
Right.
if a student comes to me and said, like, I need to talk to your parents because something needs to be discussed at home. If you're feeling that uncomfortable, but that's what I'm saying is that there has to be not just like crystal clear info, like crystal clear transparency between the district and the parent. And I feel like
Yep.
that seems to not be as crystal clear as it should be.
Okay. So
But
that's issue one. Tell me
yeah,
what issue two is.
I think like in terms of being in such a red district,
Hmm.
um, it's this conundrum that both sides, stand on these issues and not realizing you can't make your point by silencing the other point. And
Oh,
that's what we always stand on. I mean, that's what we believe as libertarians. I think you posted it the other day. It's basically you don't have to agree with the other side is saying, but it's getting so like, rabid that like I
yes.
can't believe you disagree with me. And you don't have to like somebody, and you don't you're allowed to say what you want to say as long as you're
Right.
not crossing that physical line.
Yep.
But that's I mean, education, personal liberties are really really important to me, and I think we need to get back to respecting each other's opinions, even especially those that we don't agree in, because you like I said, I mean, I am a deep red district, but we're in a deep blue state,
Hmm.
and you could drive 4 miles that way and it's a completely different demographic and opinion and socioeconomic statuses, and what you are saying out loud here might not fly 4 miles away.
Right. No, I agree with you completely. I think you're totally correct in that. So the second piece is you're feeling like there is some is the censorship you're speaking about, is it government censorship? Is it social censorship?
uh,
Both, neither? What do you mean by
I,
people like not or being shut down?
I would say it's social censorship. You act like you want to have
Okay.
a conversation and you don't. The conversations need to be a two-way street. It can't, you have to listen to me. That can't be that's not what a conversation is.
Right.
So, and you know
Right.
what? Some conversations end exactly where they started, and that's fine.
Yes.
Like but that's
I
what,
have many of them, John.
yeah,
I have
that's
many
the
of
thing.
those.
Well, that's what
Yes.
I think you said. I think the last time we spoke a few years ago, and I say this all the time, I was like, you said, libertarians, we've been winning arguments and losing elections for 50 years.
It's true. It's
So
true. Yes,
that's always like, I was like,
we're good at we're good at winning arguments and losing elections. We're good
losing
at both
those
of
same
those.
elections. I was like, yeah, sounds about right.
That's our skill set. Let me
Yeah.
grab one more comment if I
Yeah.
could. Morgan says that's why colleges were invented, to learn how to think.
Yeah.
Yes, but they're not doing that now, Morgan, but
No.
you are correct.
Those, I mean, colleges have you again, it's the same principle. You can go to one college, be raised, go through schools in your where you live, go to a different school, and you're only hearing one side of certain things.
Correct.
And
Absolutely.
it's not like infiltration, but there's a lot more power in college professors in terms of what they're allowed and not allowed to say. They're basically
Yes.
they run unfiltered. So
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
you're getting their opinions. Like
Well,
I
I would actually argue at one point they're actually completely filtered
Yeah.
voluntarily.
Oh,
Like,
yes. Yeah.
so
They're not even gonna show you the the other side.
correct. Yes. Yes. So let me talk to my audience for a second, guys. If you like what you're hearing, if you want me to do more of this, do me a favor. Click the like button right now. Click that like button so I can get past the algorithm, so more people can see this. It does matter. Click that like button. If you want to see what John is doing, you can check him out. The best way to check him out, Instagram. Head over to Instagram and check him out at The More You Know. And that's more with MORR, right? For Morrison. Cool. That's a very cute pun.
Yeah,
The
come on.
More You Know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go check it out on Instagram. So let me keep going then. You gave me issue 1. You
Yeah.
gave me issue 2. What's issue 3?
Honestly, if you look at our state, one thing that bothers me, being a commuter to work, we have January 1st, our tolls will automatically go up. And that used to be a topic that was voted on by the state legislature. And now that's, whoever that politician is who came up with the idea to just make it automatic and just pass the buck and be like, listen, we didn't get to vote on it. You guys just have to pay more now. That's difficult.
That's brilliant.
I've coworkers that have to drive different ways to work because getting on the Jersey Turnpike or the Parkway to get to work, they can't afford it.
Yes.
So with inflation, I mean, that's only going to get worse. So it's something that bothers me because there is no accountability. Like we're not holding them accountable enough, and they're now not.
So hold on. I heard 2 separate things here.
Yeah.
Are you saying your third issue is infrastructure pricing, or are you saying accountability?
Oh, account. I mean, you could say both, but accountability is
that's the key.
That is absolutely key. And to go back with what you said before, we have people, especially without term limits, and we have no term limits in our district, is, people will vote those lines because they were the only one there. I mean, you said it in yours with the same person just won every year because he was on the ballot every single year.
Yep.
So I'm just going to win because he won 6 times. He must be good. Let's vote him in a 7th time. And that's, in there, I don't want to call it voter's remorse because to me that means you feel bad. I feel like it's like a voter justification that even if whoever they voted for, they'll find any type of silver lining, whether it's completely covered in mud. They'll be like, well, because they're not to make that person look good, but to justify to themselves that they didn't do something wrong. You're allowed to dislike the person you voted for if they're not fulfilling what they said they were going to do. So you're allowed to then not vote for them again. That's the beauty.
I think what we always do, though, right? Don't we do this? If I'm a Democrat and I vote for Democrat, Democrat's terrible. All I go is, well, at least it's not a Republican. That's all I do, and then I'm good now. I'm good now, right?
See? Yeah. See, it's the lesser of 2 evils, which is the most dangerous.
I'm virtuous. Look at me.
Which is the most dangerous statement I feel like of all time, is to say, well, I chose the lesser of 2 evils. I mean, and that's what this country seems to be, because outside of 1992, I was just talking about this today. I do study a lot of presidential elections. I'm a history teacher. And I laughed to myself looking at 1992, seeing that Ross Perot had almost 20 million votes. And that is, if that happened today, the third party getting 20 million votes, my God, that would, I can't even imagine, because it's, we were the 3rd most votes, right, in 2020. And it was, I think, 1 million votes.
Yeah, it was a little bit
Still
more.
1 million people, but Ross Perot almost had 20 times that. I mean, he swayed an election just by being.
Yeah, but there's the issue, right? And this is the part that most people don't know. As a history teacher, I'm sure you know. Yeah. When Ross Perot got that, that's when the 2 parties said, okay, no, never again.
No.
They're like, okay, you almost got us. You almost did, Ross. Yeah. You almost did, and we're now going to lock that all down, right? And I feel like the Republicans are trying that, or would like to try that now with Trump.
Yeah.
Right. In other words, they're trying, because I think the Trump-Bernie year, 2016, both rebels were going to get through, right? Bernie was going to get through, and so was Trump. They were going to. But the Democrats, they had a much more corrupt system that was able to push Bernie out. I mean,
Right.
I hate the system, but congrats, Democrats. Well done, I
Yeah,
guess, right?
yeah.
So they were able to get rid of Bernie. The Republicans were actually too democratic in their system. They should have had a more corrupt democratic system, and they would have got rid of Trump. But they had an actual more democratic system. I think now they want to change that, and I think the establishment Republicans hope Trump loses, so they can go back and refix it, so they can rig it the same way the Democrats are rigging it, and make sure that never happens again. I think that's what they want.
Basically, choose your candidate way ahead of time is really what the system is.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Let me grab another one if I could. This is Patty. Patty says, "I say lesser evil. You still choose evil."
Yeah, it's in the statement.
It is.
It
absolutely is.
The one that doesn't bother me the most. But
Ted says, "Could be that elections are cooked, or in the incumbents always win." I'm not sure, and you can tell me what you think about this. I'm not sure the election is necessarily cooked. The system is.
Yeah.
Right. So regardless of the election, the system doesn't let the right people get on board anyway. I think that's the issue, right? If I understand that.
I mean, absolutely. It's if you limit opposition in any way, shape, or form, your chances of winning just went through the roof. So let's limit what people can see.
Absolutely.
But that's why I'll quote my grandfather, the man I was named after. Basically, I don't think in his entire life he ever voted for an incumbent. Basically, he goes, "Are you an incumbent? Then no, I'm good."
Like, no, that's it. I love that.
Sorry, you're already in power. You got to get out.
That's funny. Yeah. Scott says Trump is not going to lose the primary. I'm not saying he is or isn't, Scott. I don't know. What I'm saying is I think the mindset of the Republican establishment is they want him to somehow go away, whether that's jail, whether that's lose the primary, lose the election, whatever. I don't have inside information on this, Scott. This is my feeling that I see. I think the Republican establishment wants Trump to go away so they can now lock down their system, same way Democrats have theirs, to ensure none of these rebel people get involved. We got grifting to do. I think they really think that. I don't know. What do you think, John?
No, I think that's absolutely the case. But the reason I think he'll still be the nominee is because he has so much behind him. Like look at it. He doesn't even have to go to a debate and his numbers go up. So like it's and it's especially there, and you have this awkwardness, especially in the Republican Party, because like you said, Larry, you have these people that really do not want him to run again, get back to what the Republican Party wants to be.
Yep.
But then they're also still kissing the ring because he might be the nominee. They're like,
well, because the average Republican actually likes Trump, right? But I'm talking the Republican elites. Right?
Oh, no,
the average Republican likes Trump. It's clear. The polls are clear. The voting is clear. The average Republican likes Trump. But the elites in the Republican Party, they hate him. And I'm talking the elites.
And what you said before, they couldn't believe. I mean, if you look at like the year, I think 2015, he was polling at 1%. He was way behind everybody else. Yep. And they were like, all right, well, this was fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, whatever.
That was great. Whatever. And then slowly but surely, it's like, this guy's still on the stage.
So let me ask you, in your case, right? You're the rebel in your run. What are you going to do to make impact? How are you going to get people to notice you? Or what's your plan? Have you decided one yet, or no?
It's honestly, it's just that you have to see, and this is like to go. I mean, like I'm hitting the streets. I got my pamphlets. I got my brochures. I got my yard signs.
So you're door knocking.
Oh, I'll be door knocking. Yeah. So right, I'm out. I'm out.
Hold on. If you're door knocking, let me ask: if there's anybody watching here who's in the Jersey area, if you're in the Jersey area, do me a favor. Reach out to John at The More You Know Instagram and see if you can do one or two things. One, can you physically show up and knock doors with him? That'd be amazing if you can, right? If you can, go with him. More if you got an afternoon. I'm asking one afternoon, one day. That's it, right? Just if you can go out with him to knock doors with him, it'd be amazing to do that. It helps him out. It helps everybody out. If you can do it, please go do that if you can. If you can't, can you share his stuff on your social media so that people see that he's out there door knocking, right? Particularly if you're in the New Jersey area, go see him, The More You Know, MORR, The More You Know on Instagram. Connect with him and see if you can help out. So please do that if you can. I'm sorry, John, keep going.
That's exactly it. Like I said in the beginning, we haven't had a third party at all since 2017. So my plan is to like overexpose kind of like an old school way. Like we've seen, social media is such a big part of it, of course, but
Of course.
unfortunately, I think most people on social media, that they're not the demographic that are actively voting. And I think that's
Right.
where a lot of libertarian candidates, like around my area, not to knock on anybody, they focus solely on the social media
Yep.
aspect. And it's as antiquated as it sounds. Like I see yard signs, and that will stand out to me more than something else, because that seems like it's more effort than sitting in front of your phone and filming a 30-second clip.
Well, you
And
see
more
me, I
people are going to see
physically
it.
do events every year.
That's
I
why
am
I asked Larry what
every
county
year.
he's in, because I never know where no one
Yes.
ever knows where Larry is. He's
I
somewhere in
am
New York.
out. Yes, I did 7 events last weekend. 7 different counties.
Yeah.
Correct.
So,
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I'm
And
shaking hands, kissing babies.
that honestly will work, because I think it's more important to see the candidate. And now again, my opponents, obviously, I'm hoping they're busy because
Right.
they are incumbents, right? But again, as a third party, we haven't had somebody be that present. And that's what I want to be. I want to be present. I just, even if you disagree with me, I want to make that effort so that when you do go to the ballots, you see my name. You might not vote for me, and that's fine, but you see my name, and
That's
then you
not
can.
fine. You
No,
should
I'm
vote
sorry, I
for
take
him.
that back.
Vote for
No, but
John,
yeah,
damn it.
yeah,
It's not fine.
sorry, I just gave them a pass.
Yes.
No, but like I like, even then I want them to see John Morrison, be like, I heard of that guy. I saw this, I saw this, I saw this. Like,
Right.
because we see too many third party candidates nothing about, because they're on the ballot because they needed somebody on the ballot.
100%. Well,
Plain and
Joe
simple.
has a suggestion for you. He says put QR codes to
Oh,
your
that's a good idea.
website on your campaign signs and literature.
Oh, yes.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
There we go.
Easy
So let
peasy.
me ask you, John.
Yeah.
Obviously, it'd be amazing if you won, and I
Mhm.
hope you win, of course. The reality of it is, libertarians rarely win.
Yeah.
If you don't win, is there another victory that you have? Like, is there another way you're measuring a victory other than just taking the seat?
Oh, the victory will be in the turnout, whether I'm first or fifth
Hmm.
place. Because like, and I'm sorry I keep repeating myself, everybody. It's been 6 years since we've had a candidate. It was not a great voter total.
Right.
I want to do enough in this election to shake it up to a serious point where third parties, whatever that third party might be, I want it to shake it up enough that everybody above me gets concerned. Really is what I want.
Great point. If you actually came in third or fourth, that would
Yeah,
be amazing. If you
that would
actually
be
beat
huge.
a Republican or a Democrat,
Yeah,
I like that. You're right. That's a win. That would actually give people saying, "Wait a minute, this guy
yeah,
almost came in second. He
yeah.
almost got the seat."
That
Huh.
would be, yeah, that would, the splash I wanna make is exactly that. I want it to be, I can't believe this third party got more votes than one of the 2 major parties.
Right. Right.
Whatever
Oh,
place that might be. That to me is an absolute win. Whether I'm sitting in Trenton or not, that to me doesn't matter, because I know I did my job to at least get noticed and bring the party and the third party movement as a whole some attention.
that
So
is
that to
amazing.
me is
I
my goal.
I love that. That's amazing. Guys, if you like what he's doing, first off, hook us both up by clicking the like button now, wherever you are, right? Do that if you would. It does matter. If you're on Twitter right now, you can retweet this. That'd be kind of cool. If you want to retweet it, it's also good. Also, though, you can go hook him up, talk to him, see what he's doing. Go over to Instagram, the more you know, and it's more MORR, the more you know. If you
That's
can
me.
do that now, check him out, see what he's doing, reach out to him. If you can help, please help if you can. If
Yep.
you can't, he always needs it. All these little candidates, we always need social media warriors. So even if you can't physically get there, say you live in Cali or something, no worries. You can still like, comment, and share his stuff and get it out everywhere. Great. All right, John, before we wrap this up, anything I'm missing? One thing you want to bring up before we go?
I want to say, thank you to the my I guess I could say my team, that the first, like I said, the first candidate meeting I went to, I wouldn't even, have the courage to kind of, like, I thought I had, like I said, more time to kind of prepare, and then getting, falling in love with this position and working on a more local, level. It does mean a lot to have that many people in your corner. Whether it be 2, 3, 4, 5 people, it doesn't matter. It's a, very, very great feeling, and to have that kind of support is awesome. So whatever happens November 7th, I'm forever grateful
There we go.
a bunch of people.
I love that. Everyone who's watching, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you watching Libertarians Drinking Coffee Live. I will be on tomorrow, 7 p.m. with an AMA. Not this evening. I'm at an event this evening, but I will be on tomorrow at 8 an AMA. So please reach out to me then. And please check out John at The More You Know on Instagram. I'll see you all very soon.